coming out of Eastern Oregon, damn near Idaho. You're listening to the Double Talkin with Dog Bite Harris Show.
Welcome everyone to Double Talkin with Dog Bite. I'm your host, Dog Bite Harris. On this episode, I got Fritz from WhiskeyDick. It was supposed to be all of WhiskeyDick, but we just got the dick, Fritz, on this episode. We didn't get the balls. The Reverend is the balls. They're together. They're one unified dick and balls. So, I don't know if that's how it would work or not. Maybe it's the shaft in the head. Maybe I think Fritz would be the shaft and Johnson would be the dickhead. I don't know though. I'll have to watch him Indian leg wrestle over it. Anyways, on this episode, we talk about their new album, the recording process. We talk about touring. We talk about a number of things, man. Oh, we talk about Dave Grohl. We talk about March. I don't know. Well, Dimebag Darrell's got like a couple tribute shows they're a part of. I can't remember the names of them. Please forgive me. They're announced in the episode later. And also, we wanted Johnson to be here to talk about the time that he did acid at Muddy Roots, because he tells the story so great, but we told a little bit of the story, but it wasn't as good. But speaking of acid, here's a song by WhiskeyDick called Horse Made of Acid. Before we play that, we're going to tell you about, we're going to have our good friend $2 Elvis tell you about what he's got going on, and then we'll roll into the interview. So we're going to send you off here with some $2 Elvis, then Horse Made of Acid by WhiskeyDick, and then the interview. So, yeah, stick around.
Howdy. My name is $2 Elvis. I'm the owner-operator of King of the Road VIP Chauffeur Service. That's the tour guide service where you take a tour of Nashville with me, the King.
Well, look out now, I'm cruising around town. You wanna see the city, I'll take you around. Hop on in my baby blue sedan, but don't get jealous of my hundreds of fans. I'll show you the sights and all the bright lights. You say, Elvis, take the wheel. Elvis, take the wheel. Elvis, $2 Elvis, take the wheel.
All you gotta do, baby, is go to www.2elvis.com, select your date, put down that deposit, and you got a date with me, the King.
Elvis, $2 Elvis, take the wheel.
Across this town, torn and tethered and shattered, I've got to bed down. I stumbled into the tavern, my eyes on this dame. That's when I noticed her eyes were doing the same. Beside her, up and reached for his piece. Let's handle this like men out in the street. And if you ever meet my six gun, hell is his name. As we faced in the street, he had not a chance. This is the day you die like devils will dance. The bullet screamed so quickly right through his skull. As I ride through the mud made from his blood.
Alrighty, folks, with me on the Zoom, I got Fritz from WhiskeyDick. That dick boy's at it again.
Yeah. What's up, brother?
Oh, not much. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Doing good.
Nice.
Rocking and rolling.
In the studio, I see, huh?
Yeah. We're hanging out in the studio right now.
So that's just like a little home studio you guys got going on?
Yeah, we actually we built all this years ago. Built the studio here at the house, and we've laid down a bunch of cool stuff here. Sam Bones album, and we did some stuff here on that, and St. Chris, and all kinds of cool people. Hunnicutt. But yeah,
Right
man, we built it from scratch here in the garage, so nothing fancy.
Is that where you guys print all your merch at and stuff too?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's kind of what it's turned into now, is more of a merch center than an actual studio. The sound has changed a little bit in here, but yeah, a lot of hats and patches coming out of this mother.
Well, good, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, you got to have something when you're not touring, especially since you guys are a big touring band. So the fact the pandemic probably really fucked you guys a bit.
Yeah, man, that was a tough blow, and at the time too, I lived in Colorado at the time, so it was tough to get together to even just jam, and we didn't have that release, so that sucked,
So even the aspect of getting creative with each other wasn't really there all that much, huh?
Yeah, it was tough. It was pretty low point, man. And not being able to work, playing shows, which is what we do, was I was like, shit. I I can still swing a hammer and read a tape measure, but I don't think I want to. I don't remember all those skills enough to, it's like shit. Me and Reverend were like, damn, we don't have any skills. We're fucked. But no, it was, learning curves, man. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, fuck, man, for a while, Jesus Christ, you guys were
Yes, Lord.
fucking getting it fucking hard for a while, man. Like every time I turned on Facebook, it seemed like you guys were getting fucking raped by life, and somehow,
Yeah.
did you guys ever get the whole van fiasco figured out? You guys took a pretty fucking hard one on that too, didn't you?
Yeah, we're actually still paying for that one. We
Gee.
kind of just decided to let it go, and our buddy Danger Dan, he does he helped us out, took us to the Chevy spot, and the Chevrolet hooked us up here in town, but we're still paying on that van, and that hurt us pretty good, because we were right when that happened. We had just come back from Europe, and we hit Muddy Roots and all these. We were on tour, and then that thing happened, and it was like just like a hitting a brick wall. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Don't buy a Dodge. That's what you don't.
I guess, man,
Sprinter.
because that was like brand new, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking first brand new rig you ever fucking buy, and it fucking
Yep.
should have stuck with the Durango, buddy.
I know.
That Dodge worked out well for you.
That thing rocked, man. It just sucked sleeping in it, but yeah, that was a solid little vehicle.
Yeah, man, I can't believe that shit. And then you guys are still paying it off and shit. Fuck
Yeah.
You think there'd be some kind of fucking warranty that covered your ass on that, but
Well, yeah, they found some kind of way to make it like a negligent thing, even though the sensor didn't work properly, and there's proof of all that. It was one of those things like we could really take this one all to the limit, but we don't have a team like they do, that we wouldn't get anywhere. So we just said cut our losses and get a bow tie and a V8 and rock and roll. And ever since we've been the Dick Van Dick and cruising down the road.
Dick Van
all right. Getting through mountain passes all quick and shit, not like, come on, you can do it. No,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like that van's pretty good though. You guys got a pretty good replacement van.
Yeah, it's solid. It's it's a workhorse, just basic. There's no electronic shit, so except for the power windows. But yeah, all those sensors and stuff, man, get you. And I hate that it's perfect setup for bands, those sprinters. And if you don't get the right kind, it can really eat a band's lunch. I mean, we're living proof of that, and especially on the road, breaking down with the vehicle and not having it taken to an actual Dodge house to have it fixed, and the mechanics not really knowing how to work on that because it was, still fresh to them, and we kind of got shafted on all that. But whatever, life.
Yeah,
Keeps trucking, and we figure out a way to figure, we're always going to figure out a way to play music. We have to ride our bicycles up to Hefner. Might take us 2 years to get there, but we'll get there.
Yeah, you guys should just both get Harleys.
Yeah.
That's
I know everybody thinks we ride. I always tell people, I'm like, those things are dangerous, man. Yeah.
Wayne Hancock, of all people, he rides a Harley, which I would not fucking suspect by looking at him
at all.
Yeah. I would be like, I figured he'd be like the first one to tip one of those fuckers over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Oh, yeah. I can
Do an
see
armpit fart while he's on the side of the road. That's perfect. That's funny. He's came up so many times in my podcast lately. Maybe it's a sign to try to get Wayne on.
Oh yeah, that'd be killer.
Another Texan. So yeah, so then it was like, what was it, like a year after that the pandemic hit? You guys got fucked on that because you guys are one of the hardest working bands probably out there, to be honest. Like, you guys are always moving. I'm surprised you're not moving now, to be honest, since everything's kind of open.
Yeah, we kind of, this is the first time we've actually decided to like take a break without some shit like the band or whatever happened, and only because we've been working on this new album, and anytime we get any kind of headway with it, a tour comes along or something like that, and which is fine, it's cool, but now it's like we really got to focus on this before we can get out there and hammer it down. So that's what we're doing right now, which is a first for us, because us, we all, that's where all our friends are, man. That's where you're at. We get to go see everybody we love and play music, which is our therapy. It's kind of a win. So yeah, being home for a minute's been kind of strange, but it's necessary right now to get this damn album done, dude, because we got to get it done.
Yeah, how close are you guys?
We're getting real close, man. We we've recorded this album. I thought it was 3 times, and Reverend corrected me just 2 days ago and said, no, it's 7. That 7 times. 7 times we've laid this album down.
Yes, it's like your Chinese democracy. Are you sure it's gonna be good?
Yeah, fucking Guns N' Roses and shit going on over here. But yeah, dude. But I, honestly, it's cool with us because the songs have evolved, and we didn't just put something out there.
Yeah.
So kind of glad that it worked out that way. And now that I was saying earlier, like the studio, the sound has changed in here because we've moved furniture out, we've built things, and there's more merch making stuff because that's kind of been our thing too. And so we've the whole studio the room doesn't sound the same. We still have the same equipment that we've always had, but the room sounds different. So that being said, we're going to go back down to $1 million sound with Curtis in Austin. Curtis from Black Eyed Vermilion. Curtis.
I've actually never met Curtis, but I know I've heard about him forever,
Dude, yeah, he knows all about you. I feel like you guys know each other.
Yeah, man. I would like to, maybe I have met him, but I don't think so. I've heard about him all over the place, man. He sounds like a cool cat,
He's a beautiful human being, and he's a fucking amazing recording engineer, and he could produce our album and it would be good,
Mm-hmm.
So we've done Wicked Roots album down there, and we did the First Class White Trash. So our second and fourth album we actually recorded with Curtis down in Austin, and with Wicked Roots being in the same room that we're doing this album. But the treat on this one is, and I haven't really told too many people about this, but it's not a huge secret. I mean, everybody knows that, James Hunnicutt is part of us, and we have another project called Trace Bastardos. But what they don't know is that he's going to be all over this fucking album. I'm talking, there's a lot of harmonizing vocal harmonies going on, and he's doing some guitar work too, and maybe some bass tracks, and there might even be a little bit of drum stuff going on. So we got the master Honey Nut coming down to turn some wrenches on some shit too, to be basically just to be there with us. How sometimes it's just nice to have that presence of somebody that you connect with in the studio when you're recording.
I think mine was Billy Cook on my last one, to be honest. Billy really brought a lot of shit together for me, and we haven't really done anything for a long time, but I'm going to probably end up going back in the studio sometime either this year or early next year. And I think I'm going to have to try to get Billy to come back in, because
that would be rad.
It's weird. He came in for a day and really just put a lot of my songs together, how they should be put together,
Right.
And
that's badass shit, when you can have somebody that come in and just kind of read what you got. And
I imagine Hunnicutt's the same presence a bit, just having his presence there and his ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That whole deal, plus the being on the tracks is fucking rad. Like Billy, having Billy Cook being on the Black Eyed Vermilion stuff we did, and some other stuff too, like that. It's just, it soups it up.
Yeah. There's just something he adds to it. It's a little mad scientisty, like
yeah. Kevin
on guitar, he's kind of like a foundation, but I need a wild card in there,
Yeah. Right.
To really add the spice to things,
Sure.
Hey, have you ever heard of Sweatbox Studios out of Austin?
No, actually.
No, Byram recorded an album there. I think he recorded Preaching and Hollering there. Nashville Pussies recorded some stuff there. But anyways, this dude ended up moving in next to my old house. Like he ended up being my neighbor after he shut his stuff down. He took all the stuff up. So like my neighbor has an in-home studio and all the shit came from Austin, and he recorded all these fucking crazy ass bands down there. But dude, that's who I've been hanging out with. I've been trying to produce a few things, just get my hands going while he's been kind of the not the fuck, Jesus Christ, I'm having a brain fart. He's been the engineer for everything.
Oh, right.
I don't know. None of the stuff I've done has really went too well yet, but that's probably who I'll end up recording mine with. But yeah, I was wondering because he's from the Texas area, and he recorded with some people, so I was wondering if you knew.
I might know him, and I might have heard that too. I've only been.
It was there for a long time, man. I guess I don't know. People were kind of calling him. I don't know. Like Felix Thursday said that he's like kind of seemed like the Jack and Dino of Austin for a while.
Right on.
Because he's the guy kind of the guy that would take like $2,000 to do an album too, or like he would just take whatever, but but like he recorded a shit ton. Like the albums that he did is insane. There's like so many of them.
That Byram album you mentioned is really good. So if he worked on that, then yeah. And I'm probably I'm so bad with ever since I quit drinking, my memory's starting to come back, but man, I'm so bad with names sometimes.
Yeah, I am too. I used to be really good with memory and remembering shit and remembering little details of everything,
Yeah.
And I sat down about a month ago and I've been working on this idea. I want to write a book about mine and Owen's 2.5 month tour together and just write about it. But fuck, it's really hard, man. I should have did it like 2 years after it happened, because like so much of it's blurring together and there's not enough detail in the stories. I'm finding it's a lot harder than I thought it would be, and but my memory's just going, and I used to have a great memory.
Yeah, man, I've killed a lot of brain cells.
Yeah, man, I hear you, dude. Yeah.
It's cool though. It's like I have noticed, like I'm starting to remember things from that I wouldn't remember just a couple of years ago. I'm starting to remember things, and some of it's not so cool, but some of it I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I do remember that now. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And where before I was just totally lost when Reverend was talking about something. I'm like, I have no idea. And I'll just go, yeah, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I was drunk, whatever. But now I'm like, oh shit, I do remember that. So maybe it's the weed, hopefully.
Yeah, actually, that's, I don't know, man. The weed definitely, I think, might be why mine's fucked.
Right.
I've picked it up and put it down so many fucking times. It's like my brain's like, it doesn't matter now. You should do whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah,
your keys are gonna be where your keys are, dude. Just
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's particularly kind of shitty too, because I'm like an administrator at my work now. So my boss is always like, fuck. like I can't believe you forgot to do that. I'm always like, no, I forgot.
Yeah, I can believe it, but
yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get back out on tour just out of necessity before too long. I'll probably get fired because I can't remember anything. Sorry, on tour all I need is GPS.
Yeah. Just strings and a GPS, man. You're good.
Yeah. I need a phone. That's about it. All I need is a phone and a guitar, and I'll make it work.
Yeah, that's right. That's all you need. Shit.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the album. James said it's the best one you're ever gonna. Or he said it's gonna be the best one to date, is what he was saying. Yep. He was talking about pretty good on the podcast, and it's been a while since you guys put one out. For a while, you seem like you guys are cranking cranking them out pretty often. So
yeah, we were there, especially in the beginning. We was like, we were young and like, oh, it's good. Let's record it and then let's put it out there so people can hear it. Blah blah blah. And since we've gotten a little older and a little more seasoned, we've decided, we didn't really try to like outdo the last album, but it's always been a goal, I think, to kind of push ourselves. You know what I mean? I think on this one, and James would say the same thing, that we're really pushing ourselves on this album more so than the last two albums, which we were kind of, if you listen to them all in a row, which I don't suggest do anybody, please don't do that. But if you were, you would
speaking of memory loss,
progression. You would see a progression. And that's all I can hope for, is that.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, I think honestly, Fritz, I think as an artist, as a real artist, somebody, if you really give a fuck about your music more than just selling it, of course you want to progress. You want every album to sound a little different and a little better, and
right.
And one thing you just said really resonated with me. About how you guys recorded this like 7 times, and dude, there's so many of my songs that I wish I would have waited to record because they do change shape over time. You find little hooks that are fit in there better. You maybe find lyrics that go better,
Yeah. Things that flow, even like for me, and same for you being a vocalist, you even like the vocal melody can change and be more saucy and more flavor because you've been playing it live and you figure out what works for you or something,
The thing that happens to me constantly is I'll come up with, I'll have a song, right? And then I'll have one line that's just like fire. And then the next line is kind of lackluster. And I'm like, fuck, like it kind of feels just weird. So, but I'll play it forever. And then like 2 years later, then I'll be like, I'll come up with one that goes better with it. I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, that's why sometimes it's like really good to just let a song resonate for a while. Like I was working with this kid out of California and he's really good. His name's Cole Hinkle. Amy plays with him. Dude, Cole's great. But for a minute, he was Cole. He was cranking out songs like every day for a while. And I kind of was like, dude, like put some of these in the bank, man. Because first off, like you're going to dry up, man. Like writer's block happens. And when that does, you want a stockpile of shit so you can keep cranking out tunes. As second off, like sit on it for a while, like play it live or whatever, but let it marinate before you start going out and recording it right away, because for that same reason,
and we learned that the hard way, just like everything else in life. We put out our first album, Rebel Flags and Whiskey, and the songs are great, and it's actually like one of the most popular albums that we have. But the recording itself, like for me, Reverend himself has like progressed in his knowledge in the studio, and so that goes for me too. Like just it's all like back then it was like, all right, song's finished, we got it, we play it a couple times and we might play it live once before we recorded it most of the time because we had a Boss 16 track digital recorder, the same one Shelton used for Straight to Hell, that same setup that we had for years. And it was so easy to just, it had the fader on it. And so, we were like, oh, put it out there. Now I hear it. I'm like, okay, it's not horribly bad, but it's still like it's tough for me to hear it because I'm like, Lee, I know we play those songs so much better now with more angst and more fire and more passion and more all of that, because we're able to feel that now. So, and that's the only thing that makes me go, okay, I'm okay with it, is that there is the options. And I've talked to Byron about this a bunch of times. Is like, it's our fucking shit. We can re-record that if we want.
Yeah.
And throw that on like a bonus track, or put out another, like revisited or some shit, or, so in the right, like you said, the writer's block thing does happen. And especially, in this day and age when there's a lot of distractions and whatnot. So if you are able to have something that you can kind of sit on and let marinate, why not? You don't got somebody breathing down your neck saying you need it out there. And like with this album in particular, it's taken the longest, obviously, because our last release was The Bastard Son, and that was 2015 with Ralph, Rusty Knuckles. So that's been a minute. But these songs have evolved even since the first time we recorded them. And like I was saying earlier, so, just touching on what you're talking about, let them breathe, let them marinate, because holy shit, now that's what James is talking about, because holy shit, the stuff that's coming out of us now with these songs is totally different and way more, it's deeper, it's better than, it's definitely some of our best shit we've ever written, man. And the cool part too is we've got a whole nother album just kind of with like a different vibe of worth of songs over here to, that we're kind of holding off. So we had enough material over this time. We were still writing and everything. So we were able to pick and choose what tracks we really wanted on this album. And then now we can hone in on those and tweak them, tighten them up and do all that stuff. But they've changed over time, like big time. But one track in particular is Poor Man, which we played live. I think you've seen it. But that one was like way fast and kind of jangly, like Black Eyed Vermilion song style. And we recorded it, laid it down, and I was listening to it, and it sounded good. And I hated it. I was like, I don't like it. It's not what I wanted for the lyrics. And I wrote the shit, and I was like, I hated it. But hearing it back made me realize that I was like, that song needs to fucking change completely. So go back to the drawing board or whatever. And now it's totally different, and it's way more intense and where it needs to be. So being patient with songs and stuff like that is cool these days. It's not doesn't feel like too much pressure. The only downfall is, everybody's waiting around to hear shit and got it out yet.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it though. And there's shit I've recorded I've made disappear. It's so bad. So like shit recorded in people's bedrooms and shit on fucking iPhones, whatever. I was like so
yeah.
bad shit. Like I'm away shit that makes me cringe, man. So
yeah. Well, too, man, we're the worst on ourselves, dude. We're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing too, is like, gotta learn to let go, man. So this part is fucking rad, because now we just get to go to Austin, set up, let Curtis do all the work, and we just get to fucking just rip, dude, let it rip, fucking rock and roll, and just let that fire and that energy be there.
When's Hunnicutt coming down?
Yeah, we're gonna fly him down for the studio too. So we'll be down there in May. We got some time with Curtis at the studio in May, and we're gonna fly Hunnicutt down for that.
Anybody else like gonna play a part in there at all?
Well, there's some other people in the area that we know that might jump in on there. I don't want to say too much, but
Oh, rad. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
could be some
yeah.
extra guests on there for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're not holding nothing back, man. We're like, let this one fly. If we want to throw keyboards in there, fucking we'll do it. We don't care.
Yeah.
We're not going to limit ourselves on this one to just what we can do live, I think.
Yeah.
Because most of the tracks we can play live, so it's all gravy.
Yeah, man. Well, you've been playing them live for a while, most of them, I think.
Yeah, some of them. Some of the James probably mentioned there's a lot of tracks that nobody's heard yet at all.
Cool.
So that's the part, like, fresh, new, nobody's even heard it yet. Hopefully y'all like it. We don't know, but we like it. So
Yeah, dude, honestly, man, even if nobody does, like I was having this talk with Jack Gibson from Exodus the other day on one of my shows, and we were talking about Metallica's Saint Anger. I'm like, fuck it. Everybody's allowed to put out a shitty album.
Yeah.
Everybody's allowed to experiment. I know with me, like, dude, I get the one thing that's kind of held me back from making a new album and making new songs is like, I feel like all my shit is so repetitive that I'm like, I want to hold myself to a better standard. Like the next time I put something else out, I want it to sound better,
Yeah.
and better to me might not be better to people that are used to what I play.
But whatever makes you happy, though,
that's what's important. As an artist, you got to let yourself have that, and I think that's important, and so even if the whole world thinks it sucks as long as you guys are happy with it, fuck it. And I'm sure it's going to be great,
Totally. Oh yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be great, but I think people should just worry less about, I don't know. I think there's a lot of albums out there that are fucking fantastic, and the artist probably didn't give a shit about what everybody was going to think about it.
Right. This one, yeah, and this one is like that. It's with us. We want the songs to be what we want them to be. We want them to.
Yeah.
We want them to translate how we, and however long that takes to get it, so be it. That's important to us right now. We put out albums. We could put out an album tomorrow if we wanted to, but we don't want to do that. We want these songs to mean to. We want our feelings to come across through there.
Also, you probably don't want to listen back to it and hear a lot of shit you regret putting on there. That's another reason I've been like kind of planting my heels in with not doing one. Is like I could go write bullshit songs. I could write enough bullshit songs to fill out an album in a day, but like I want to be happy with what I'm doing, and I want to be happy. I don't want there to be like a fucking, and honestly, there's always going to be something. You'll never have a perfect album ever. And if you try, it's probably going to be your worst, but I just want to be mostly happy with it
mostly happy is like rewarding.
I don't want there to be like, I don't even want there to be like one song where I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have put that on there, right. Like I covered a song by a guy that ended up being a total piece of shit on the last one. So it's like, fuck, like with that, like I don't want that kind of shit to happen. Like if I'm going to cover somebody's shit, it better be somebody I've known for a really long time and really trust not to be a piece of shit down the road,
Right.
And then, and just if it's a song that I don't know, I'm notorious for having like almost the whole album and then getting in a hurry. So I write like a song real quick, Yeah. Like, fuck, I'm going in the studio in like 3 days and I need like a song to make 10. So here we go. Like, what are we coming up with? So like just want to be happy, with the results.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, man, and taking the time with it. It's like God, to leap that releases that whole pressure part that kind of can fuck with the whole writing process and just the motivation of getting it done can even be affected by the pressure of having to release it. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get something out there, and then you fucking just racks your brain, and it can really suck the life out of you, you know?
Well, especially if you tour as much as you guys do. You know, I know the pressure for me to put out new shit was way harder when I was like touring like 3-4 times a year, you know, like when it was like when music was what I did, putting new shit out was way more of a pressure because people want to like a new album every time they see you almost, you know, it's like they want one every year almost, you know?
Right.
So
and they want to hear fresh new tracks, and of course they always want to hear the stuff that they always do, but you know, they want new shit, man. The new merch, they want new t-shirts. They got that shirt already. Hell, they got 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same music. So, and for us, it's a release. You know, we're just lucky that people can freaking hear it and listen to it and actually like it. We're pretty blessed with all of that, but.
Well, I think too, man,
rushing around and just throwing shit out there and then going back and be like, that's horrid fucking dog shit. Yeah. Take my time, we'll put it out there when we think we're happy with it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you're talking about too, and that's important, man, for us and our seasoned asses like we are.
Yeah, and I mean too, it's just. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is important. So
yeah, because it means a lot to us. You know, our music means everything to us.
Yeah.
So why put out half-ass us, a half-ass part of us? You know what I mean? Yeah. Which we've done, and it's worked for us.
Yeah.
But now we don't have to do that. So.
Well, yeah, it's
that's kind of the nice part about it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But shit, 7 years is too fucking long. It's time to get to work.
Yeah, dude, I'm on 10. I think I'm on year 9. I think year 9 with a new album, so I'm due for sure. But yeah, things are finally starting to come together for me. A lot of things. It's like, I don't know, man. Like my writing process is weird, you know, and I don't write about shit as I'm going through it. I write about shit after it's happened and I've decompressed. Yeah. And I have to be in the right place. I can't have a lot of outside noise. I can't have a lot of fucking distractions. And for the last 10 years with Ruckus and my lifestyle change, all I've had is distractions.
Right.
You know, so it's been real hard even going through shit to ever decompress or ever have the time to write songs. And now I'm finally in a place where I can do that. And when this time comes, usually it's when I have like a flood, and then I'll just go write a bunch of shit until I'm tapped out. And then I kind of tapped out for a while, you know? Yeah. So, but yeah, I've got like pieces, like fucking so many pieces of songs, you know, and I'm holding myself to a higher caliber this time around, like I was saying. So like a lot of my songs sometimes, like, you know, this, you've heard me play, like they don't have a hook to them, you know, like it's just the same shit. It's like verse, solo, you know? So like, I'm trying to put like a real song together and not just, you know, like my old typical shit, you know?
Yeah. That's pushing yourself. Like, yeah, that's fucking,
I've also done some shit that I've never done before and reached out to friends to help me finish a line, you know, like I'll hit up Hunnicutt, like I'll have like a few lines and I'll play it for him and I'll be like, I'm stuck. Like, what comes to your mind when I hear this? And sometimes it hits me and other times it doesn't, you know, or I'll send some shit to Felix or somebody, you know, and like I said, sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't, but it has helped a few times to just like get me over that initial hump where I'm like hitting a wall, you know.
Right.
And also I'm going to take a few of those up to Kevin in Tacoma and actually see what he can come up with. You know, play him the piece I have and be like, all right, well, because he's like a professional musician.
So be like, where do you think this should go from here? You know, and I'm gonna see where he goes. You know, maybe I'll have some lyrics pressed aside. You know, and it's funny too, like because I'll also like I've been doing this thing, and I've been sending Felix these like little pieces of songs for like a year, and I didn't realize how many I'd sent, and I was like, oh shit, like I can't believe I fucking that's awesome. I like why how did I forget I did that? You know, so like. And then there's like, I'll put lyrics in my phone and forget that I did it. And I'm like, holy shit, like, that's awesome. When did I do that? You know, that memory thing we were talking about. Like, that's part of the problem too, probably. That's probably part of the reason.
This is really good. Holy shit, when did I do that?
No, there's literally pieces where I'm like, I have no idea when I put that in my phone, like at all. Like, no clue where it came from, why it's there, when I did it. But obviously it was me. You know, I have a password on my phone for work mile fucking long. Nobody can get in there but me. Nobody's putting that shit in there. So like, yeah, there's a piece I was like, holy shit, like that's rad. I don't know where the fuck I came up with that at, but I'm glad I did.
I was actually talking to James about that not too long ago because we're kind of unorganized, you know, individuals up here in the mental state. But we've been trying to get more organized with our shit because, you know, we are, like you said earlier, our phones, man. My phone has got so much stuff.
Yeah.
Every one of them just says new recording number, blah, blah, blah. So I've been having to go through and like actually name them so I know what the hell it is. And then, because if I don't, it could be lost forever. Unless I just get bored one day and have to go scrolling through them and like, oh, that was a cool lick. What the hell was that? So now I'm like going through it and being like, cool lick. Name it. Cool lick.
Also, speaking of memory loss, I think mine has attributed to my phone. Like just because I'm just so
you rely on
stimulate my fucking mind nearly as much as you don't read books, you know. And me and Hunnicutts have had this talk a lot too, where like I'm trying to like read more, which I am not doing real well, but like I'm just trying to put the fucking phone down more, you know. Like, don't scroll and stare at nothing. Do something productive, you know.
Right. It's
like,
tough.
You playing guitar, or fucking even watching a documentary is like more fucking useful than sitting there and fucking reading what people ate or people's political opinions on Facebook. You know, it's like So, but yeah, I got my knee surgery in like a week, so I got a stack of books I haven't read yet, and I'm gonna try to fucking read a bunch of them.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good, man.
We'll see how that goes. I'll probably just stroll on my phone, make a little Facebook post about how my knee hurts, so people will
take pictures of the books. Look at these books I got. This shit picture.
Yeah, I'll take pictures of my books. Maybe if I take pictures of the pages individually and post them, I'll actually read them, and I can just scroll through Facebook.
Oh man. I've tried. Me and James talked about that same thing. I just don't read, man. I can read.
Yeah,
but I don't. I just don't. What's up, buddy? Who's that? Oh, thought I heard something.
Shit, you got a ghost in there?
No, I thought I heard something over there, but it's not. The wife, Christina, Reverend's wife.
But yeah, it's fuck, I forgot where we were going with that. Oh yeah, I read books like I kind of read books like I write songs, like in a fucking a frenzy where I'll read like 10 and then not read for like 4 years, you know.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny is the only book that I can tell you right off the top of my head that I've read from cover to cover, front to back, was St. Chris's book. And I actually read that book like from cover to cover, page to page. And that I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Because I don't read, man. I just don't.
Dude, that one's a tough one too, man. I struggled with that one. I've got both of them, and it's funny. In one of them, like in the first page, he talks about how my favorite author's gay. Like right out the gate, that totally dogs my favorite author, Jack Kerouac. Like in the first page, I'm like, oh yeah, this is Chris's book. Yeah, no, I need to try a little harder to read it. I've read a few of it, but I've got them both. But the one I've got right now that's really eating at me is I just bought Dave Grohl's new book.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I really want to read that one. I'm pretty sure that'll be worth reading. I know most of it. Dude. Yeah, I know that you've had some run-ins with him, but most people fucking hate him. But he seems like an awesome guy to me.
Yeah, I don't understand. I've only heard that like once in my life, because every time I've ever hung out with Dave, he's been like the coolest fucking dude on the planet. I could go on for days about how of a good guy he is, just from my experience around him. But yeah, the new book, and he's got the movie out too, the horror movie.
Oh yeah, I was looking. I was gonna take my kid to see it, but they ain't playing anywhere around here. But yeah, they're shitting on the movie too. Like the movie's like supposed to be some fucking like Golden Globe nominee or something. I don't know. Like people expect it. It's a parody fucking horror movie. Like it's supposed to be shitty. It's not supposed to.
It's made that way on purpose.
Shit. Like what do they expect? Like fucking Martin Scorsese work or what? Like
the Apocalypse Now coming out of there.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. But yeah, you played. He does the shit from the Dime Fest or that you guys play. Right?
Yeah. Well, when we first actually met him, was at Dime's house when we played for the barbecue. Rita's an old friend of ours too, and she always asks us to play, and so she had us this time for the Ride for Dime they do here in Fort Worth. They did a barbecue at Dime's house, and they invited 333 people. And Dave Grohl and his barbecue company, Backbeat Barbecue, and all his guys came out. They flew down, or drove down actually, but their pit messed up, so they got a pit here in Texas. And those guys, Dave was out there at 7 a.m. rubbing this meat and cooking this with gloves on, and he was out there all day serving people food. And I got to talk to him then, and then we hung out after everybody left at 6, I think, in the evening. And then, of course, we all just hung out at Dime's house by the pool and stuff till the next morning or whatever. But just a really good dude, and he really supports, bands like us, original bands that are out there doing their thing and making a living doing it. And he's all about supporting that shit. Any kind of music, he's really into, supporting the shit out of it, which goes a long way in my world. But on top of that, just being a solid guy, we went to Dime Bash in LA and Santa Ana actually, but and we took James with us and that was right before COVID popped off, and we showed up and Dave was there, and we got there early in the morning, and he'd already been there since 6 a.m. cooking barbecue again for the whole day for all the bands that played. Remember, we were the only actual band that played, but all of the A-listers that were there playing. So he was, mingling with everybody and cooking, serving food, making sure everybody was good all day, man. Just so much energy. And then they did this drum. They did a drum thing on the front of the stage. They brought out all these floor toms, and all the drummers came out, and they were doing Roots, Sepultura Roots. So there was like 10 drummers on stage from all these badass bands playing the floor tom together doing Roots. Dave's back there cooking barbecue and hears it, comes hauling ass like jumps over the drum riser. He's like, I'm getting in, stinking, reeking of fucking pork and grease all over him. He's like, yeah. And he's so excited. He's been out there working since 6 a.m, serving people food. And he's like, yeah. I was like, this motherfucker is solid. He's got nothing but good shit from me.
There's a lot of shit that resonates really highly with me. Well, first off, I'm a fucking huge Nirvana guy. You know, it's just my generation of music. And that growing up in a small town that was, like, I always say this, that was punk rock to me. We didn't have access to punk rock. That was the closest thing we had to any kind of bit of music freedom was Nirvana and that kind of shit. You know, like up until we were in high school, you know, the internet wasn't real, like, happening out here, and none of us lived anywhere near a city to go experience the shit organically. You know, there wasn't record stores around here, not ones that sold real music anyway. So like that was like what got me into music. And I remember really hating the Foo Fighters for a long time, just because I was just like, fuck, you know. But there's a couple there's a couple things that really resonated with me. Well, one, he put out, after a while, he put out a really good Foo Fighters album that I liked. And I always kind of admired him because him and Chris Novoselic never really got much out of being in Nirvana except being in Nirvana. You know, Courtney Love pretty much got 90% of anything that band fucking had. Yeah. And the other 10% that him and Chris split is more than you and I will ever have still. But, you know, right. you don't hear Dave really whine about it too much. No, you know, he's always just happy to be doing what he's doing, happy to be able to be working. He, like, I think the guy's just a true music lover, and he knows music from the ground up, man. And
he's a really humble guy.
He did a documentary on HBO, and I can't remember what it was called, but he did like a few parts where he just went into the city and dug really into the roots of each city. And when he dug into Austin, he went into Rocky Erickson like right away, and that's when I was like, Dave Grohl knows his shit.
Yeah.
Only real motherfuckers talk about Rocky Erickson, you know, and he did a good portion of it, you know, like he went into Austin City Limits and shit, but he really, really dug into Rocky.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the Lemmy documentary, like what I tell anybody, I see all these guys bitching online about him or whatever. I'll be like, dude, Lemmy like loved Dave Grohl. Like if Lemmy loved him, he was rad in my book, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I love the story that like Dave Grohl tells the story about the first time he met Lemmy. He was at the Rainbow and he went and Lemmy was playing the video machine like he notoriously was. And Dave went and was like, hey, I was the drummer in Nirvana. I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm a real big fan of yours. I like you a lot. And he said that Lemmy looked up at him, didn't say anything, just looked at him and said, I'm sorry to hear about your friend. You know, I'm like, fuck, dude, that like, what a fucking cool story, you know? Yeah. Like those two are like kindred spirits. And if Lemmy's a kindred spirit with somebody, that fucker is a real dude, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So,
definitely.
There's a few things that Dave Grohl's done for music, I think, that just resonates highly with me. You know, I think regardless of if the Foo Fighters are some great, amazing band or not, Dave Grohl's fucking pretty rad.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I knew that you guys had some run-ins with him, so.
Yeah. We did those couple of things, you know, the Dime tribute things and stuff, and he's been around.
Well, and Hunnicutt said he remembered you too the second time he met you. So like,
yeah, it was. Of course, we walked off like, you know, a little, you know, he was totally like, hey, what's up, guys? You know, and we played it cool. Oh, what's up, man? It's our buddy James. And after he walked off, we're like, oh my God, Like a couple of schoolgirls. At a
Yeah,
Beatles
so that's
concert.
that tells you what kind of character he has. He remembered you
Yeah.
guys, you know, and he probably meets like fucking a shit ton of people every day, you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
I'm
and
not
you know the other thing too is you know Rita. We've known Rita for shit. I don't even know how many years, decades. And she's always been solid to us. And anytime she's introduced us to anybody, they've always been that way. Like meeting Scotty in at Dimes, same thing. You know, he was there with he had his kids with him and playing video games in Dimes' living room, and we were all
He's
hanging
married to Meatloaf's daughter too.
Yeah,
I found that out when Meatloaf passed away.
Yeah, Pearl, she's an artist too. She does really
Yeah.
good, man.
She's
really,
pretty good, man.
really sweet too. She's really nice, and their whole family's really cool. You know, it's like they're just real people. And I'm a huge Anthrax fan, so meeting Scott for the first time was like, but you know, in Dime's house too, you know. But yep, him and Dave both are, you know, Cody Jinks was there too, and he's an old friend of ours because he's from here, and we used to play. When he was in his metal band, we used to play shows together all the time back in the day in Dallas and in Fort Worth, Arlington area.
Huh.
So we got to hang out with him there too.
He's blowing the fuck up with you now too, man.
Having Dave remember who, like, I guess, you know, Reverend's pretty handsome fella. He's kind of memorable guy. Me, I just look like everybody else who works in the tattoo shop or something.
I don't know about that.
But it was
Reverend doesn't have that voice, man.
Yeah.
And he always looks kind of sticky. Like that's what he gets for sleeping. That's what he gets for sleeping. Yeah, I wanted him to tell the story about the time he did acid at Muddy Roots, but we won't go into it because I don't know if he wants to tell it or not. But
no, he doesn't mind. He would tell it. He would
tell
it a little better.
I don't think I don't think I've ever laughed so hard as I did when he told that story when we were fucking at Kevin's house in Tacoma. Fucking man.
Yeah. It's a little better when he tells. Maybe the
Gary Lindsey was there too, so that helped a bunch.
It was legendary shit, man. You know, when you got Gary says you get one, and that was the one. That was it. And you did it right.
Yeah. Fucking Gary. Now that's a guy, man.
I'll
Gary.
tell you this. You know, through the years, the drinking, all these drinking and shit we've done over the years, and even other stuff too. I've seen Reverend be like a long time ago. I'd be like, man, how is this gonna work? And then we get up and he just shreds. And over time, over years, I'm like, I quit even thinking about it because I'm like, oh, he's fine. Well, at Muddy Roots that time, not so much. You know? I was like, let's turn him down. Matter of fact, let's just unplug him. He's not gonna know. He's not gonna know. And they were trying to hand him his guitar, and he just didn't know what it was. Like, didn't know what the guitar was that they were handing. What is this?
The best part of the whole, honestly, for me, the best part of the whole story is he's like, I woke up and he's like, I could taste it in my mouth. And for anybody who's ever done acid, you know you've done it because you can taste it. He's like, it's pitch black. And he's like, I open up the band trailer and the first person I see is St. Chris. And he goes, yeah. And he's like, I knew right then and there, I fucked up big time. That was the best part of the whole thing. I about fucking died. And then Gary was like, yeah, and you know, Chrissy's got that laugh that fucking is just so annoying. And when you're hungover, you just want to kill him. He sounds like a mix between a woodpecker and a chainsaw, I think is what Gary said. And then he did like the perfect St. Christopher laugh.
Oh yeah, he totally did. As soon as the van door opened, he was, yeah, pointed Reverend out. And Reverend's like, fuck. And the funny thing about it too was 30 minutes before that, I was in the van with Reverend trying to get him to come outside, telling him, look, man, it's cool. It's not the worst show we've ever had. I've passed out on stage in mid song, and then all of a sudden hit a note and woke up back. Like, it's not the worst. So I had him feeling. I was like, we still got our Blackout Million set to play. We're good. Everybody loves you. Don't fret over it. It's cool. Everybody else was fucked up too. It was 1 a.m. So finally he's like, all right, I'm good. I'm all right. I can face the world, right? Door opens. Yeah. Fuck.
I knew,
right?
Right
After Chris does that, here comes Ralph, and Ralph's like, hey man, it was a show. Everybody had a good time. Don't worry about it. And here comes Beth, and she's like, oh, I had to walk away. It was so bad. I'm like, son of a bitch, please, just everybody shut up. Because he was ready to check out.
Yeah.
He's like, he didn't want to see anybody in public, He was so embarrassed.
And then
I'm like,
him telling the story about it, how he apologized to Jason was one of was funny as shit too, because he's, oh yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like, I know, and Jason, I can't remember how Jason put it. Like, we know it wasn't a very good show, but you were like, I think I had a pretty damn good show myself.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. I had a good show.
Oh man, I was like, oh fuck, I guess I can do this one by myself. Meanwhile, there's chaos going on the stage right here next to me.
Yeah.
Oh man, yes, Reverend. Next time we get on with you, we'll have Reverend tell the story, because
I love hearing him tell it. God, it's so funny.
My point of view is okay, but I'm coming from a different angle than he was. The personal experience on his end, it's way more of an interesting story.
Yeah. And we've kind of just took little pieces of it and put it together too. He says he doesn't even remember taking it. He says he thinks he was laced or something, or he drank something that was fucking, somebody dropped him, or whatever you call that.
No, that didn't happen. He pretty much went. Yeah.
Oh, really? He just doesn't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. It was more like, hey, I got this. And he's like, cool, you had that. I got that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, legendary shit, man.
It happens, man.
Hopefully we'll get to the next day, I think it was, we played the Sunday, the Blackout Vermilion set, and it was the same stage. So we walk up with our gear, and Reverend's like, got his amp and his guitar, and he looks over at the monitor guy and he goes, I'm back. And then we fucking killed it though. I mean, the Blackout Million set was fucking crazy.
Jesus Christ. Watching you guys play with him it's something special, man. Like that, when I had you guys up here for that fucking show in Seattle, I was so fucking pissed off that not more people were there to see how fucking amazing that set was.
That was killer.
The good part of it was so dead, I actually got to watch it. I wasn't busy selling merch or doing some shit or breaking up any fights or anything, but I was looking around. I was like, holy fuck, this is bad. That was the same one my fucking car broke down on and shit too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was nasty.
The van issue happened that time. That's
right. I almost
fucking
fucking died on I-5, man. I don't know how I didn't. Really, I was doing 90 and my tire was about to fall completely off, man.
Yeah, that's scared the shit out of all of us.
Yeah, I was telling Gavin, I was like, hey, follow me home. I think something's wrong with my van. And I looked underneath it a bunch. And he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna watch you pull out. And then he's like, hold on. Back up, pull forward, back up. turn it off and get out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
You're
He's
not
like,
going anywhere in that.
yeah,
thing.
he fucking gets up there and pulls my shock down, and he's like, yeah, dude, it's fucked. And that's why I was looking. I thought I was like in a flat or something, so I'm just looking at the tire. I'm not looking up. Like, if I'd have looked up, my whole shock was coming off. The whole fucking mount, everything was about to fucking come on. It's like $2,000 on top of having a shitty show, paying a bunch of money out of pocket. I fucking had to fucking pay like $2,000 to get my van fixed before I could go home. Jesus, fuck it.
Yeah, that sucked, man.
Yeah,
I remember that.
it's all right. It's a good memory though. I gotta watch Honey.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I didn't even. I was so tired and burnt out and high. I was smoking weed like crazy the day after it happened, and then Stumptail and you, and then Bazooka Benny were playing in Tacoma. And then so I went with Kevin and Tanya, and I wasn't even out there, but I remember just hearing all you guys yelling because fucking Gary drank fucking some of James's piss out of your van.
Yeah.
Like I would just remember hearing, oh my God, Gary just drank some of James's piss. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
And then they kissed.
Oh God, yeah. Hunnicutt doesn't fuck around, man. Like
Yeah.
I've fucking like made jokes about that, and he'll be like, "No, I'll kiss you right now." I'm like, "No, I was just kidding, dude."
Yeah. Back up, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. He'll if you like, I think what I said is, "I'm so happy, I'll open mouth kiss you right now," and he grabs your head and goes in for one. Like, don't say shit.
You gotta watch what you say.
He does not care. Yeah, it's funny. You see these little shades. James is so mellow and such a positive ray of energy that when you fucking get him in one of those modes where he's fucking wild and his old self comes out for a minute, it's fun as shit to watch. Because I'm pretty sure, I think he kissed his own piss off of Gary's lips. I'm pretty sure is with how I heard it.
Oh yeah. Well,
So yeah,
I got it all on video.
oh boy.
On video. Gary did first. He did the bottle of piss was a Gatorade jug, and
Those are the best when you got to go.
Oh yeah, and it had been in there for a couple of weeks because we did that run with James, and then he went home, and then he was home, but he played the show with us there, so he came out. We're like, oh, we saved this for you. Like we kept it for him.
Yeah, I think by the time I got there,
2 weeks it rolled around in the van. We're like, all right, dude, you're taking this home with you. And Gary was there, of course. And so Gary did the finger dip first, and then he dipped that's where all the yelling came from. Because Gary, he was joking around holding it, and all of a sudden he sticks his finger in the piss and then sticks his whole finger in his mouth. And then we were like, what the fuck? So then it was a little bit of sip and then a kiss, and it was, yeah.
Yeah, those guys. Fucking A.
We do some nasty shit together.
Yeah, you guys got to get back up here so we can do some shit, man.
I know. We're working on that, man. We got the studio in May, but then June we got some stuff. Pretty much James is going to be with us the whole month of June. We got Pawnstock in Nebraska, and then the weekend after that is Choice City in Colorado.
Hell yeah.
And then the weekend after that we'll be in Europe for Muddy Roots over there. So we're going to be together all the month of June doing shows, and then we fly out to Belgium together and back. And I think when we get back, he's going to go home, but we might just stay out, and we might just come up that way. So he might just ride. We might just take him home instead of getting him a flight or something. We might just come up that way and stop and see you guys on the way up. You know what I mean? So
cool.
Hell yeah. But we got in June, we've got basically like 3 weeks worth of stuff with 3 festivals going on, one of them being Muddy Roots Europe. So, but that should be pretty badass. And James is not really touring right now at the moment either. He's kind of
he said this run with you, he's going to test the water and try to just see how long he can be away. He's got a lot of personal shit going on. So
right.
We're talking about doing a little run up to Montana in October for a few days just to get out and do something, just the two of us.
Right.
So, but it's kind of turning into a thing too, because Tanya and Kevin want to go. I always prefer to play with a band, but part of the finesse of doing it with just me and Hunnicutt is I just got this new ride, so we could just throw our shit in it and go. But now it's already turning into, we'll fucking take a van and then we'll just for a few days, because everybody wants to go. So I'm on the fence of whether I want to I'm on the fence if I want to put my foot down and be like, no, this is a spiritual journey with me and James.
Right.
Or if I want to be like, nah, everybody, come on, let's go. It's the Partridge Family, which will probably be what happens because I really hate playing by myself anymore. So, and, taking Kevin and TJ anywhere is never a bad thing,
Not at all.
Kevin's pretty handy. And in a lot of ways, man, that guy, I always feel better having him in a van because if something happens and he can stick, he's not perfect at shit, but he's good enough to where he knows whether he can fix something or not. And he's always pretty good at the ballpark. That just costs about $200 to fix. And sure enough, he comes in around the fucking
somewhere around that area.
Yeah. So, and he's good at catching things before they're a problem. That's the good thing about him. Is he's really good at catching shit before it's a problem. We've really only broke down on the side of the road once. Everything else has been we've had something happen, but we were able to get someplace to fix it. So
that's good.
And that was the time we were doing that run with you guys is when that
was the California run.
No, the one where we had to take the U-Haul, the Moonrunners.
Oh shit, dude, that sucked.
That was that's one of my favorite fucking stories in the world, man. And that was Owen Mays fucking with us 110%. We went to Owen's grave and I had a fucking flat tire and fucking the whole goddamn tour. And we had a fucking flat tire that day as we're going to fucking see him. Or I can't remember if we're going to see him or no, we're going to see him because we had fucking flat with us. And then, the next day we had a fucking another one and it was a tie rod too. So that's why we couldn't just change it and go. But we're all on the side of the road bummed because we're like, fuck, we're going to miss Moonrunners. And everybody's just oh fuck, just packing it in and giving up. And I was actually the one that kind of put a fire under everybody's ass. I'm like, how much does a U-Haul cost? Because we got time. If there's a U-Haul place close by, we could rent a U-Haul for a few bucks, maybe. Let's just look into this and see. I was the one that started getting the shit rolling. I was like, let's not give up. Yeah. And then Kevin was like, there's a fucking U-Haul place just right up the road. Let's see if they got anything a van available. And they didn't, but they had the moving van. Yeah. And we're like, well, how much money do we have in the band fund? Can we fucking pull this off? And we had everything was just perfect to where we just fucking made it. We had to split my set in half to do it, but it was great. And I was gross. I hadn't showered that fucking day. And then ended up, it's the only day I didn't get a shower on tour. I ended up the back of a U-Haul and fucking.
I was right there when you guys rolled up the
I look goddamn. I was fucking 100 pounds heavier then too, man. I've lost 100 pounds. It's the worst shape of my life. Worst fucking shape of my life, hands down. And fucking, I'm in the back of a fucking U-Haul.
Just a box truck too.
Yeah, it was a box truck.
Yeah.
That was one of my fucking greatest stories ever. Oh my God, that's so great. And what was so even greater about it was that Joshy had everybody we were just are you gonna make it? You gonna make it? And we're like, fuck, we're gonna hit Chicago traffic. All these things were popping up, but we just made it. And Joshy rallied the troops, and everybody was waiting for us outside. So when fucking the door flew open, the first two people I saw was Brooke Blanche and Noah Tyson, the two biggest motherfuckers in the fucking place. And they're like, throw us your gear. And we just started everybody's just like, we got our gear loaded in. Like, fuck, that was the fastest load in ever. We were loaded in and sound checked in like 5 minutes. Like I don't know how the fuck we did it. I think you guys were out there. There's so many people out there. Like Joshy was like, let's help these guys. Like, fuck, it was so great.
Jones type shit, dude.
Yeah, and I got off stage for just a second, and Brooke Blanche had 2 ice cold bottles of water waiting for me. It was fucking rad, dude. Like, that was probably the most rock star moment of my fucking life. Like, I was just like, the truck rolled open, and I'd had it planned too, where I was like, because I was laying there looking like a fucking beach beluga whale in the back until we got there. I was like, I'm not letting them fucking see me like this. So like when the door opened, I'm like sitting there like off to the side, like I'm like standing up, looking all cool and shit.
Yeah, get my shit, put it on stage.
Yeah, no, but I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a few people to be out there, but fuck. Yeah, Joshy had everybody ready to go. It was so awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a great experience for me, man. But
that was good times. And the set was killer too. You guys fucking
it was a pretty good set. And I was shaking the whole time just from the adrenaline and everything the day, So yeah, and it was fucking great, man. Moonrunners was fun.
Hell yeah. That's coming up too.
Yeah, are you on that this year?
No, we didn't make the bill on this one.
He's pretty good at rotating it, Yeah.
Maybe next one. But but I think James is gonna be there for sure. Black Eyed Millions on that one, but we're not.
And so is Jake Orbis and the Broken Band.
Yeah.
I thought about flying into it, but I don't think I'll be ready.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a good one, man. The lineups looks good, and it was funny because I was talking to Curtis, and we were trying to lock in the weekend for the studio, and he sent me the dates, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay, that's got to be Moonrunners weekend. He's just not thinking straight. And I didn't, and I forgot, and I was like, and I forgot. Then I just forwarded it to James. James was like, yeah, that's the weekend I'm at Moonrunners, buddy.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought.
So.
I'm like, so he's gonna be there too. So I don't know why he sent me. So I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, we ended up going with the weekend after Moonrunners is when we're in the studio. So we'll have James, we'll fly him down after he gets back from Chicago. So
right on.
Fucking rocking and rolling.
I'm looking forward to hearing this album, man. Like, last couple are really good, man. I like it when you get all sad bastard.
Yeah, there's a lot of that on this. Not a lot, I'd say this wrong choice of words, but there's several tracks on this one that are, that are really heartfelt, emotional type tunes, at least on my end.
Good. Yeah, because those are the ones I really dig. I love all your shit, but and it's funny too. Oh man. I just by the name and the appearance of your first albums, I thought you guys are gonna be way like wild, like more wild than you are, like I almost didn't, and I'm going to be vulnerable and just be a dick. And I think I've told you this, but I almost didn't book you that first time. Chris talked me into it. And then Reverend also, that's funny because Reverend is also like, what I remember about the Owen Mays and Dogbite tour is we were trying to play with you in New York or someplace like that. And we were told we can't have that spot because Owen and Dogbite are going to play that. And then we ended up canceling because our band was running all like shit. So like, he's like, I know you canceled and we didn't get that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, man. And I'd have a big bill. There's a big bill too as part of it, but there's a couple factors why I didn't book you, but why I wasn't going to, but Chris was like, oh, you really need to book these guys. It's like, all right. And I was so happy I did, man. Cause like, I always say like can't beat you guys for the type of people you guys are either. It's like you guys' merit and you guys, you just can't find better people than you and Johnson, really. You know, you're some of my favorite people to tour with. You're so nice. Like money's always like a secondary issue with you guys, you know, like, and I think, you know, you guys still manage to make things work, you know, and you guys are devoted. Like, I don't know anybody who works as hard as you guys either. Like, and that's like, I mean, really, maybe the Gallows, but not so much now. Like, I think you guys probably work a little harder than the Gallows too now, because and they've earned every bit of any kind of relief they've got for sure. But I mean, they've got their booking agents now, and they've got a little bit more money rolling in, so they get a little bit of relief, you know. But they're the only people I can think of that I can compare to that tour as hard as you guys, work as hard as you guys, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate that people notice that. I mean, we just do what, because we, you know, we say this, it sounds cliche, but it's really honest truth, is that we love every aspect of it, of what we do, you know, and we don't take it for granted. And when we're not doing it is when we're not happy people.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like it's not really, it doesn't feel like work, I guess is what I was trying to say, you know. But shit, we don't even have any more skills anymore now. But yeah, no, we hearing that helps us, because, you know, it lets us know that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Well, and you guys are smart as shit too about it. Like, you guys set up a business, you know. You guys got your own studio. You're self-sufficient, I guess, too, as much as you can be, I think, as far as an independent artist that tours goes, you know. Like, somebody could be a little more, they could I guess somebody could manufacture more things than you guys do, but not tour and not do the music as hard as you guys, I guess, because like it would take drawing in more people to subsidize the cost of what it would cost, like print your own vinyl, I guess, you know, or print more higher end embroidery stuff, you know, which you guys even embroider shit, you know. But I know that you guys don't have the time to do big, huge projects, you know. So like,
yeah, we pick and choose what, or not. I don't say we pick and choose. We're kind of limited on, like, you know, we can't do like a huge amount of merchandise for bands, but we can do stuff to get them through tours and help them make some money, that kind of stuff.
But yeah, but once you get to where you are doing those bigger ones, then you got to devote more of your time to that. So that's you guys do just enough to keep yourself going, have a little something for you guys when you're not touring. And so it's really,
it helps our friends out too. So
yeah,
exactly. That's the whole reason we started doing it. The merch thing was obviously for ourselves. We made the investments. Reverend was always really smart about that. We're gonna, you know, from the beginning, I had my own place. And I had, you know, I was working the bar and a tattoo shop, and I quit those jobs to play music. I moved in with Reverend, consolidated bills, but then we took everything and made it the business where we still don't really get paid ourselves personally, but everything goes into the business. So we invested in, you know, the hat presses and the embroidery machine and all that. And then now we've like upgraded to even more shit. Now we can make coffee mugs and all kinds of crap. So it's grown, which is cool. But we're still keeping it on a smaller scale to where it doesn't take away from our music business, where we're able to go play and tour.
Yeah.
You know, so
well, I think the only way you could be more into that side of it is if you devoted more time to it, you know.
Right.
So Yeah, that's I mean that's smart, dude. Like like you said, you guys run your lives as a business pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
Like that was gonna be my next point is you guys once you decided you wanted to do this, you moved in and consolidated everything like a married couple kind of, but you're like married to your band, you know.
Yeah.
So like yeah, it's a unique, really cool way, man. And I'll tell you, fucking it takes a special, it's like a marriage. It takes a special two people to make that shit work, man. Like you guys are compatible at everything you do because fuck, man. That's yeah, I mean, watch the Gallows try to do that. You know, not to keep comparing you to them, but like think about if the Gallows decided to run a 4-way marriage like that, you know. Like I hope somebody rolls cameras if that ever fucking happens. But like fuck, there's a reason I don't even hardly have a band. Like I can't fucking do that with myself hardly, you know, like I couldn't do that with a band. Like it's just everything about you guys is special in some way, man.
You know, people ask us sometimes it was just something that happened and we didn't plan it, you know, me and Reverend doing this and the music, and we've had the same views. I think is a lot of what drawn us together back in when we were metal band days. But then it just kind of fucking evolved, and now it's like people tell us when we play a lot, our eyes are closed, but we just kind of feed off each other. Even if I fuck up, it's almost like Corsican brothers or something. Like sometimes I'm like, hey, can you feel that, motherfucker?
Yeah.
That hurt when I do that, because it's fucking weird, like how we can connect that way. It still boggles at our minds, but it's fucking rad. It's a blessing, yeah. Like you said, man, not something that happens all the time in this day and age.
Yeah, every day you get to wake up and do what you love and make your life sustainable. It's a gift, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was just kind of talking to my kid earlier today about how, like, you know, like how this isn't really, I mean, I don't know. It was a little different conversation now that I think about it, but we were kind of talking about how, like, you know, how once you get rid of like the ego and everything and you just stop and appreciate life and how like weird it is and how special it is that we're even here, you know, and that even some of the people that have it bad have it a lot better than other people, or, you know, so any day you wake up essentially and are breathing and not hating everything around you is a good day, you know.
Man,
I feel for people that are in pain or like hate their fucking lives for whatever reason, or born into abuse and shit, you know, because like my life hasn't been easy, but when I start to feel sorry for myself, I think about those people, you know, because like some people, they're just born miserable into a miserable situation. It's hard to get out of, you know, and some of those people have a better outlook on life than I do, you know, and it's like,
that's true. Yeah.
Like kids that are born sick, you know, it's weird seeing some little kid with cancer that's just really happy, you know, and you see it a lot, you know, too.
Genuine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to appreciate what you got, you know, because it's going to be gone someday, and you got to live this life on your own terms too, if you're going to be happy, you know. And that's what I think I respect most about you guys is you guys are like, this is what we want to do, and we're just going to fucking do it by any means necessary, you know. And you guys always just seem really happy and content whenever I see you guys. I'm sure you guys have tough times and shit, and
I mean, everybody's got struggles and shit, but yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is you don't seem to have any fucking regrets whatsoever. You know, you see some bands out on the road that look miserable as shit, and they're like, fuck, I wish I would have just stayed home and fucking kept swinging that hammer. You know, like there's people you see out there that are just like, have that mentality. But whenever you see you guys out there, you can tell that you're loving what you're doing regardless of how shit's going. you know?
Yeah.
Even when you guys are fucking going through that band shit, like that's about as down as I ever saw you guys. But the second you guys got back out on the road, regardless of the debt and the bullshit that left that on you, or that was left on you, you guys were just so happy to fucking be back out there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, man, that's what fuels us.
Yeah.
We love it. We love seeing, like I said, you know, being able to play is our therapy, and that weird connection that me and Reverend have. That's the only way for us to get that release. Even when we're at home here, even though we live in the same house, it's still a struggle sometimes to just come out and here in the studio and just jam. You know, it takes a lot more motivation, but when we're out on the road, that's we feed off of it, you know.
Yeah, there's something about being on the road that opens up your fucking creativity, man. Like, and that's another reason I think I haven't written that many songs, is I haven't been on the road as much as I was when I was kicking out tunes all the time. I was on the road all the time. It's amazing how much that opens you up and frees you up. And so yeah,
just seeing different things can really open your mind up to, you know, the creative the sparks that you need.
This is one thing I always try to drive home with my kid too, since I was on that subject, is like, when you're fucking out on the road, like, fuck national monuments, fuck the Statue of Liberty, fuck the fucking Golden Gate Bridge, fuck everything they've ever told you that is beautiful or fucking special in this country, because like nothing compares to driving through the fucking Mojave Desert at fucking 3 a.m, or fucking seeing the sunrise in New Mexico at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, or like going up some random gorge.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like there's all these little things you catch when you're on tour that will beat the shit out of seeing the Statue of Liberty or fucking Mount Rushmore, any of that shit. You know, like all that shit's bullshit compared to what, like, the real life experience you see when you're fucking out there. Like, that's why you see all these fucking tourists look miserable almost, or just like robots, like brainwashed fucking zombies out there with their cameras and shit, man. Like, put your fucking phone down, shut the fuck up, and just drive. Because
and honestly, like, if you take pictures of any of it, it's not going to do any justice.
I mean, sometimes I do, but it just doesn't do any of it justice. You're going to get the prettiest sunset, and somebody will be like, wow, that looks amazing. Like, no, you should have seen that shit in person.
Yeah.
You know,
there's no picture that can grab that.
To me, it's the closest thing to fucking heaven on earth is catching those moments, man. You know, and I think that's why Hunnicutts grabbed me with all this native religion stuff, kind of, that he's got me doing with the smudging and shit, is because sort of always felt connected to anything, you know, as far as that kind of shit goes. So like, it's always been when I'm on the road doing shit like that, you know. But yeah, it's just that's where you get your experiences at, you know. It's not where they tell you to go, where there's 1,000 people shoved into a place like rats, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never went to a monument or anything like that and walked away not disappointed, you know.
Oh, right.
There's a few I've never been to. But
you know, my favorite thing when we're touring is you know, Reverend hates this part, but the small towns where you gotta slow down to fucking like 25 mile an hour.
Yeah, man.
That's red light.
Yeah,
he hates that shit, but I'm like, I fucking love that part.
Yeah, that doesn't. It seems like something you like, man. Like Eureka Springs, Arkansas, is what I was just gonna bring up, and I was actually gonna bring that up too. Is those little towns that are just special? Like, there's a town in Arizona called Jerome that's like nothing I've ever seen. There's a town in, you know, Arkansas, Eureka Springs, that is like some shit you've never seen. You know, there's like these little areas, like you said, this, like the towns that are just dug into the mountains someplace, or like you said, or like I like driving.
You never would have heard or seen this place ever in your life, but because you're on the road to this show, you happen to go through this little town, and there's just like badass, cool spot. You know?
And there's a
there's a lot of those places in like the Midwest and like Texas. Like I love highway driving. Like when you get out there in the Midwest and not everything's on a freeway. Like in Illinois, like in the Springfield area and the Grafton and
Way.
yeah, there's like you don't even have to take a freeway anywhere. You just take highways everywhere. I love it. And it's just like you see for a million miles, you know.
Yeah.
Texas is the same way. There's a lot of fucking roads in Texas like that where you just drive highways the whole time. It's great, you know.
You want to hear something funny? Is like the first we started touring like hardcore in like 2010, and this was back when, you know, of course I was still drinking then, but I also didn't have my CPAP mask, and I didn't even know I had sleep apnea. And if anybody told me, I'd tell them they were stupid. Well, so I didn't see a lot of shit, dude, on the road. So when I finally got my CPAP mask and it was like sleeping good, and then I was awake and seeing the stuff for like this giant rocking chair somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Michigan or something on the side. And I'm like, whoa! Reverend's like, yeah, dude, drove past that like 9 times. You've always been asleep.
That is like I guess I shouldn't surprise me that Rev's like that, man. Yeah, that is
like silly shit. Like there's a giant cross in North Carolina. I was like, whoa, it's a huge cross. Dude, look at that. He's like, man, I've seen it. You've been passed out every time. Like it's now he's like, man, I miss those days when you were just asleep. That's when I had my time to think. Now you're awake all the time.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. There's still shit out there. I've seen most of it now.
Well, there's always, I don't know. For me, it seems like there's never a tour where I don't come across a few moments like that, you know?
Right.
Of course, your first couple is where you're like a kid, you know, and your eyes are all big all the time, you know? Like,
whoa.
Yeah.
There's a giant bed frame on the side. He's like, what? Yeah, dude. It's been there.
And then touring with Bob, man, it's like there's always like a theme of for a while. Like I was telling somebody this the other day, I think I was telling Kevin this, but we went through a phase where it was like where you hit those little areas where you can buy illegal fireworks everywhere. Like at every fucking stop. That was our thing for a while where we're like, oh, pull over, there's another one. We probably spent like $400 on illegal fireworks, like just fucking yeah, we're getting in all kinds of fucking shit with them. One time we were like, Bob was printing off CD sleeves at Staples, and everybody was half fucking asleep and tired and cranky. And I looked down and I thought we'd lit them all off, but there was like just a whole string of black cats tucked into the fucking like the fucking pocket of the van door. Like I just got done smoking a cigarette. I had my lighter in my hand, and I was just like a kid. Like I couldn't help myself. Like Dan Infecto's like leaning on the front of the fucking car on his phone, just spaced out, and like fucking Uncle Buck's fucking on his phone talking to his wife. Pat's sleeping in the back seat, and Bob's inside. And I just like fucking, I didn't even get out of the van. I just threw them out the fucking van door, and they just fucking went off. Everybody about shit their fucking pants, but
that's good shit.
Yeah, that was one theme that was hot for a minute. We stopped at so many places. Bob was like, "No, I'm looking for this certain kind of mortar," but we didn't buy them. Yeah, we didn't buy
the Thunderbolt 25.
Yeah, this thing Hank 3 had once back in the day. Fucking making shit in my pants.
You can feel it in your butthole.
Yeah. But why we're here with like 10 more packs of bottle rockets, couple mortars, and some strings of black cats, and that looks good.
Oh shit. Good thing y'all never get pulled over with all that mess.
No, we hit everything. That was why, man. It's like, yeah, I don't know why they're legal in some places and not in others, but yeah, they're very illegal in some places and just all right in the South, most places. But
as long as it's not dry, you know.
What do you think? Right. So we went through Texas actually one time, and south of us was a tornado and north of us was a wildfire.
and there wasn't really too many places to go west or east at that time. So we had to pick one. So we went for the fire. And so in top of that, there's like the wind's whipping because the tornado's right behind us. But what do you think the craziest shit you've ever driven through was?
Oh man, yeah, we actually remember the tornadoes in Joplin that devastated Joplin a while back.
Yeah.
So we pretty much stayed the night at this truck stop that night, and woke up that morning and decided to drive to Branson to stay the night down there. I think we were either headed back this way or something, but the storms were so brutal that there was like metal flying through the air while we're going down the road. Buildings and yeah, that was pretty. I didn't like that very much.
Probably not, dude. I can't
Most
imagine.
of the time we were pretty safe. That one we were trying to get somewhere safe, so we had to drive through it, and it was sketchy, man. Yeah. That was probably the worst one, I think, that I can top of my head. But we've been through some pretty gnarly conditions, but that one was. And then, of course, when we got to Branson, where we were staying, it was all over the news. The storm was rolling in, and that night, all that just devastated happened. That was pretty freaky because the sky. I mean, they're just seeing the colors in the sky were not natural looking, and it was a weird experience.
Yeah. I've only been close to them, and I've never been like right in one. But yeah, the sky always gets really trippy.
It turned real green and like bright. It was fucking eerie shit.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It looked like
shit's gonna hit the fan.
At any given moment, it looked like it could just go, fuck your white van.
Yeah.
Just fuck you. Just So yeah, that was scary shit, man.
Your guys' luck, it would just take you up high enough in the air and drop you enough to fuck your van up, and then you'd have to envy out another van.
Still have to pay for it. Yeah.
They're all sorry we don't have tornado insurance on your van.
What happened, guys? Tornado. Oh man.
Yeah, pretty soon you're gonna be fucking just driving around in like a Geo Metro or something.
Yeah. Well, now we got the van. Our business plan is we try to do a page from some of our peers where you get a vehicle and you use it for about 5 years, and then you trade it in and get another new touring vehicle, so you have something reliable all the time.
Yeah.
But everything with COVID and all that stuff kind of put a stop to that. But I think for the most part we got a pretty solid one now. Even whatever happens, we're not going to quit getting out there. We'll find a way. We'll tour in a Pinto if we have to. You know us. We'll roll up on a scooter.
Riding doubles like on Dumb and Dumber.
Exactly. You got gear, right? We didn't have enough room. Yeah. No, we'll never quit, man. We'll be 80 years old, hopefully, pissing ourselves on the front porch playing music.
Yeah, that'll be good, man.
Yeah.
Well, shit, brother.
Cool.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Dude. Thank you for having me on. Shit.
Yeah, man, it's been fun. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. You got to bust Reverend's balls, though, for falling asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, the allergy medicine he's been taking, it's been kind of fucking up his schedule a little bit. But
was he taking Benadryl or what?
It's like, the doctor gave him some stuff for because he's got this. It's back here behind his ear.
Oh.
So he'll get like right ear shut down where he can't hear, and it fucks him up. So they give him this nose spray stuff, prescription, and it helps loosen all that up, but it also knocks him the fuck out. So it's take what you can get, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought he was kind of a late owl, so or else I would have fucking scheduled it a little earlier. But
he is normally, yeah. This just kind of happened earlier today where he had to take that stuff and thought he was going to be okay, but it kind of knocked him out. But
that's all right. You're sufficient enough. You'll do. You'll do.
But yeah, we'd love to do it again, man, and have him on because that's a whole other interview there.
Yeah, maybe once you get the album out, we can play some tunes.
Fuck yeah,
we'll get you back on to talk a little bit more, man. And then yeah, even if we got to catch you, maybe we can do like even a live one where it's like all of us chilling if you come up here.
Oh, that'd be badass, dude. Let's try to do that. How about that?
Yeah, we can.
That sounds way cool. Shit, yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, hit me up when you guys are coming up here and fucking we'll hang out and shit.
Definitely, dude.
Right
yeah.
On.
We gotta play some music together again, man. We miss
Absolutely.
you. Hell yeah, brother. It's good to see your face. Man. Talk to you, man.
All right.
All right. Take care, brother. Big love.
Yep, back at you, buddy. I'll see you later.
Right. Looking forward to seeing you soon, man.
All righty.
Cheers, bro.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Double Talkin with Dog Bite Harris. Big thanks to Fritz from WhiskeyDick for coming on. WhiskeyDick are probably my favorite people on the planet to tour with. Couldn't ask for nicer guys to be around. But yeah, I love those guys to death. And yeah, looking forward to hearing the album. If you want to come on Double Talkin, hit me up. dogwaterradio at gmail.com. It's all lowercase letters, all one word. And you can hit me up there at any of the social media pages, and we'll try to get you on. Also, I'm always looking for music for Useless and Alone, for Dog Water, and me and Felix Thursday will be starting a podcast as well. So always looking for stuff for the music podcast as well. Please go and like all of our pages on Instagram, on Facebook, all that good stuff, and share these shows around with your friends. We appreciate your guys' support. Also, hey, if you're not in a band and you're just listening and you're a fan and you think somebody would be a good fit on the show, hit me up as well. Same places. But yeah, thank you guys. I sound like a bumbling moron right now. So I'm going to let you guys go. But before we go, I'm going to send you off with, this is Owen Mays' favorite WhiskeyDick song, and after they kept dedicating it to him on tour, I realized that it's probably mine too. I love this song. It's called Honky Tonk Zone. Sad bastard music. I love them. Alright, looking forward to hearing that new album they're coming out with. Be on the lookout for that as well. We'll see you guys next week. Things are going to look, before I go briefly, things are going to look probably a little weird. I got a couple interviews lined up, but that might be it for a week or two. As of right now, I've got a knee surgery scheduled for Tuesday of next week. It's my first surgery ever. I'm super nervous and don't know what my recovery looks like. So the way I see it, one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to be giving you guys a new show every day out of boredom, or I'm going to hit the fucking pillow and fucking sulk and feel sorry for myself for a while. So, but yeah. So thank you guys all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Living on ashes, running on fumes. I'd wish this on no one, especially you. Feeling low, dreaming high, but that's the way it goes in this honky-tonk life. Yeah, this honky-tonk life. And it's hard to want love when you don't know what it is. There's just an empty hole where you think it might fit. So it can't bring you down. You just keep rolling on to the next town, another honky-tonk zone. Another honky-tonk zone. People always ask me, they say, man, where you from? Well, I'm from that mean old highway. Yeah, it's my only home. And you might think it's lonely, but it's all I've ever known in this honky-tonk zone. In this honky-tonk zone.